Hello everybody, San here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, on this beautiful Saturday, wherever you are, I want to talk about this article here, or rather, a set of articles on The Economist's title as The Age of CRISPR. Now, first of all, I don't have a subscription at The Economist, so I can't actually read the articles. I can't do that. But it kind of is really nice to see a couple of things. First of all, The Age of CRISPR, they kind of give you a couple of articles. This is literally published today, March 1st, 2025. And you basically have a bundle of articles here with CRISPR gene editing has arrived. That article was written over 2 weeks ago. The next generation medicine, CRISPR cures face cost and safety concerns. And then you have all the way down there, editing crops, eat your genome edited greens, CRISPR animals, editing pigs, mice, and mosquitoes may save lives. Designing babies, which we'll talk about in just a second, the way forward of gene editing can still change the world, and so on. So, first of all, I want to kind of mention a couple of things to the viewers here. In this channel, we've always said it's a long-term thing, right? I remember when I started making these videos in the early part of 2021, I still remember the first video was you need to be here for the long term. Now, was I necessarily talking about 8 years, 7 years, 9 years? I mean, for me, long term is definitely not anything less than 3 years. It's more towards 5 to 8 years. And if you kind of extrapolate that in 2021, we're looking at 2026 and onwards towards the end of this decade. Now we are in 2025. We're still in a bear market. We're kind of in this dead cat bounce here and there. Some of these companies are going up, then back down in the CRISPR landscape. Unfortunately, the whole market has been down this past week. So if the whole market is down, there's no way biotech, specifically CRISPR, can be up, especially not this year if that's the case for the market. Now, that was definitely not the point of this video. I don't want to really talk about the stock prices and so on, but of course, I can't help to mention that. But we are in the age of CRISPR. We have a CRISPR-based therapy that was approved in late 2023 and is going and has been commercial for the past year plus. Of course, I'm talking about Casgevy. We have multiple clinical trials in phase 2 and even onwards. So programs from Caribou Biosciences, program from Beam Therapeutics. You're looking at Verve Therapeutics. You're looking at all these companies with phase 2 plus clinical trials. And on top of all that, you also have the U.S. administration, of course, the latest person appointed to lead the health and everything with health, and that includes overseeing the FDA and so on in the U.S. And of course, I'm talking about Kennedy there. And Kennedy is a supporter of CRISPR. He was invested in CRISPR Therapeutics. When this was disclosed a couple of weeks ago, we published a video on it. And of course, if you invest in a company like CRISPR Therapeutics, clearly you support the CRISPR landscape. And by the way, it's not like he invested in an ETF. It was directly in stock symbol CRSP, which is CRISPR Therapeutics stock. So clearly he is aware of CRISPR Therapeutics. Clearly he supports it. And he has mentioned it in an interview that in front of the Senate there when he was being interviewed by the Senate, that he has known a couple of people that have been affected by sickle cell disease, and he's a huge supporter of CRISPR as a whole. So we believe in this channel that 2025 will be seeing some significant changes with respect to CRISPR, and it's everything to do with regulation, fees, cost. We believe, of course, with ARK Invest article, the Big Ideas 2025 report, that AI is going to lower cost, increase efficiency, productivity in multiple folds, not just by 20, 30, 40%. We're talking about 10x, 100x, 1000x. That's the level of reduction of cost we're going to be getting. And you can extrapolate that what we've seen in the last decades, but then you can kind of include with the rapid progress of AI. So all of that kind of bundles into the following statement. It is the age of CRISPR. Now, I do want to mention, when I say age of CRISPR, I'm talking about blood disorders, I'm talking about diseases, I'm talking about cancers, I'm talking about curing all of the above. I'm talking about making food healthier, making food more nutritious, making food basically last longer so you can eliminate world poverty or get close to it. We're talking about reducing cost of food because you're going to increase the crops, you're going to increase the longevity of your crops, and again make them more nutritious, and then again reduce cost because again if you're able to edit your crops, and you can do all sorts of things to make them last longer, to make them more viable, and to make farmers do their jobs better, right? And that is, of course, all part of this age of CRISPR theory. Now, the whole designing babies, the whole like editing the germline, I'm not sold on that for many reasons. I don't think we should be focusing on that. I think that's a nice sci-fi fiction type of story. I'm not saying it's not possible. It will be possible. What I'm more concerned is in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm less concerned about the next 50 to 100 years. I think those are nice theories to develop. Those are nice things to look at. But to say that, to kind of extrapolate CRISPR's influence based on editing the germline, I think we're far from that. I don't think we're anywhere close to that. And I think by the time we get close to that, a lot of us watching this video may be well past their age lifespan. I mean, this is not going to happen this decade, next decade. I mean, we're talking maybe later part of this century, which again will be very, very much older than what we are today. But what I'm getting at is let's put our focus on the things that actually matter. And when I see these types of publications here, I am convinced that CRISPR is here to stay. I think sometimes we need to kind of remind ourselves how far we've come. You look at in the bull market in 2021, you barely had programs in phase 2 trials. You had only one program in phase 2 and phase 3, which was Casgevy. You barely had human data at that point. Now you have so much human data, so much longevity data. You have many more CRISPR companies with clinical trials, public CRISPR companies by then. And of course, you have a bigger kind of thesis to support this technology, right? And again, if you roll back in 2021 and you told me that, we're going to be in a bear market until 2025, I wouldn't believe you. I mean, with the trajectory we were heading, I remember NTLA publishing their first ever data in the summer of 2021, June specifically, with their in vivo technology. I wouldn't believe you, but here we are, right? 3 years later, here we are, and that is the definition of a bear market. That is the definition of, up and down cycles. That's why, as investors, you have to do your research. You have to do your research because when things go south, you have to believe in what you've built conviction for. And if all you did is follow stock symbols and the hype cycle on Reddit, X.com, or on YouTube, then your first action is to sell those stocks, and then you're never going to reap the rewards long term. Now, it's kind of weird to say that when we've been in a bear market for 3 years, but you best believe that this CRISPR technology is here to stay. Now, whether these companies are here to stay, whether these are the companies that are going to be successful in the long term, that's up in the air, and that's to be determined. But of course, we believe here in this channel that some of these companies we're covering are here to stay. They have a lot of cash in the balance sheet. They have great human data. The technology has been supported by many leaderships around the world. And with the trajectory of Casgevy, the first ever commercial CRISPR therapy program, we believe companies like Beam Therapeutics, companies like NTLA, companies like Caribou, Verve, are going to have a much easier time to get their own programs approved. But again, not financial advice. I don't have a crystal ball, and so don't you. So guys, I'm going to end this video like this. Again, I wanted to take a look at it here high level, talk about it, converse with the viewers here about the state of CRISPR. And when I see this title, The Age of CRISPR, I think indeed we are in the age of CRISPR. You tell me what you guys think in the comments below. It really does help the channel with engagement, guys. And subscribe if you haven't. And like this video, guys. It puts our videos on people's homepage. Lots of viewers, lots of organic growth. Let's keep that momentum going. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you.